Welcome back to RealHouseDIY. I have a 15-year-old LG dryer. Today I'm going to show you how to replace a snapped belt, a worn idler pulley, and worn drum rollers. Now if you haven't seen the first video, go check it out. I'll get a link in the description to where we had a snapped belt and the dryer stopped working. Showed how to do the troubleshooting to see what's wrong, see what needs to be replaced. And very common when your dryer belt snaps, you'll also want to replace drum rollers and the idler pulley at the same time. In that first video where the belt snapped, I also showed you how to check the drum rollers, see if those need to be replaced, as well as the idler pulley. We checked out some other components as well. Everything else is good. I've also done some vacuuming, got it nice and clean again. And here's the kit I got, $20 on Amazon. If you want to go buy the same one, I'll get a link in the description. Get a belt, replacement drum rollers, and the new idler pulley and the spring. I've already done some comparison on these parts. The new belt is actually a tiny bit thicker than the old one, so I like that. The idler pulley feels and looks exactly the same, except for the connection point right here. Seems just as strong as the original. But then comparing the drum rollers, they look the same, but you can tell you have smoother bearings in the original versus the new one. Has the same amount of play, but you can hear and feel that difference in the bearings. So I definitely have one bad drum roller inside the dryer. I'm definitely going to replace that. I am going to replace the others as well, but I'm going to keep these good old ones just in case I need them in the future. So let's get started. I'll show you how to take apart the dryer and get to this point. It's very easy. All you need is a screwdriver. Or if you're already here, ready to start replacing the parts, you can skip ahead in the video. You want to unplug power first, can either unplug it, or I have my circuit breaker right next to it. Just switch it off. I can confirm it's powered off, it doesn't power on, and the light inside doesn't light up when the door is open. Next, you're going to remove the top panel. For that, you have 1, 2, 3 screws to remove. And just slide it backwards. Take it off. And here's that drive belt goes around the drum. And you can tell it is broken. So there, it's snapped right in half. Next, to remove the front control panel, you have 2 screws up at the top to remove. Next, remove all the electrical connectors from the back of the control panel, being careful not to touch any components. And all of them will have a little tab that you depress in order to pull out the connector. This blue connector here, the tab that you push down is towards the front. And same with this one here. And the only thing connecting the control panel now is these little white tabs to go over the metal bracket. So you just need to lift up on the plastic and pull forward. And the control panel will come out. And put that aside. Next to remove is the front door panel. You have 4 screws up at the top here. And also remove the 2 screws at the bottom of the door when the door is open. When you get to the last screw, you don't have to worry about the panel falling out because there's this little tab here that's holding in place. So just push down on the white metal of the panel to clear that right there. We'll pull away. Then you have an electrical connector for the door sensor. And that connector just pulls straight out. Then you lift up on the door panel to get it off the latches on the bottom and put that aside. You have electrical connection for the door light. You can unplug that. Remove the lint filter. Disconnect the electrical connection for the moisture sensor. You have 2 screws to remove here to take this piece off. Next, before we can get the front drum panel off, you need to take off this metal piece that's across the top. That's holding that in place. You won't be able to clear it very easily. For this one, you have 2 screws in the front, 2 screws in the top. You also have a wire going through this clip. You need to take that out. Lift up, and the panel will come off. Take the wire out of this clip here as well. Now we have 4 screws to remove this panel. Now you can lift this panel. Clear it from the drum. Set this aside. Finally, the drum will come right out. It looks pretty big, but this is actually fairly light. And now we can start replacing the parts. I'll replace the idler pulley first. All you need is a 10mm socket or wrench. You could get by with an adjustable wrench if you need to. So it's just 1 bolt right here. You can see we have the spring hooked on. This tab from the idler pulley bracket is underneath the switch. So when this goes up, hear that switch turn off. Switch turns on. You'll also notice that the spring doesn't really do anything just like this, but once the belt is on, it'll be a little bit tighter and you can feel it starts to stretch the spring. Next, I'll replace the 2 drum rollers on the door panel. For this, you'll need a 14mm wrencher socket and a 10mm wrencher socket. Now it's worth noting that the new roller only comes with 1 washer, while the old roller had 2. I checked that the posts are the same size, and the washer thickness of the new washer is the same thickness of the 2 washers previously used. I'm going to reuse the 2 thin washers. So that one's replaced. Replace the other one on the door panel. So I was thinking about this some more. Got the two new rollers on here and wondering why was there the flat on this roller, used to be in this position. And then the roller opposite that in the dryer was the really worn out roller. I don't want that to happen again. So if we look at the side here, you can see the clearance that we have here. Compare that to the roller that wasn't worn down in this position. You have much wider clearance there. You can see the difference a little bit clearer top down. That's the location with the worn out roller with the flat. Compared to this one, you have a much bigger clearance right here. So I've got it up on the drum, and when you try to turn this, this spins nice and freely, that good one. And this one here, this does not move nicely at all. This one, see, I can turn it. This one, I can hardly turn that. That's really tight. So that's the reason why that flattened out there. I need to fix that. So I'm looking from top down. Here's that bad one that flattened out. The hole was drilled off center. That's a manufacturing defect. Compared to this one, that one's perfect, centered. So take this off again. There you can see that hole drilled off center, too high. I didn't want to risk re-drilling this in a correct position. So my solution, I took one of the good drum rollers, is the one I took off from right over there. And I smoothed it down so it's smaller diameter. If you compare these two. And you can do that easily on a belt sander. So I'll get this back in. Now you can see your clearance is perfect, right where it should be. I'll try it out on the drum again. And that spins nice and smoothly. Much easier to move. This one still spins a little bit more freely. I think this one will be just fine. Feels right. Next, to replace these two drum rollers, I tried an axis is really tight to get back behind this panel here. So we have a number of screws on this round white panel here to remove. I'll take this off and replace the drum rollers. So that was 7 screws total for this back panel, but it's also connected here to the heating element. So we have some wires to remove. Let's see if this comes out now. I have to lift up on this panel. And that one just fell right apart. I I did check the clearances on these two rollers, and they do look correct. So this one should be all set to go. Now this piece here, can unhinge it from the top right here. It's definitely good, get cleaned out. I have a bit of debris right here to clean out. Next, I'll get those 7 screws connected for this panel from the back. So I got all 7 of those screws back on this white panel from the back. You can see they poke out on this side. Now time to get the drum back in. And it doesn't look like there's any orientation, but I can tell from when I took this out, the black is behind this screw where that belt was sitting, and that was towards the back. So I'm going to put it back in the same orientation. I'm going to get it up on top of those back rollers. I'm going to show you how to put the belt on the motor and the idler pulley with the drum removed, because it's a lot easier to see like this. You can start with the belt around the outside of both, and it's going to seem really loose like that, even around the drum. The extra step that you need to do is the belt from the left side. That needs to go under the idler pulley. So then when it tightens up, you can see what happens. Goes around just like that, with the idler pulley on the left side, the smooth side of the belt. So the belt's going to go around the drum, the ribbed side down, smooth side up. And the location, it's going to be behind that center line right there. And just as I showed you, the belt from the right side goes down under the motor, then around the idler pulley that way and back up. Get this panel back on next. Get the drum sitting on those front rollers. And pull it up and latch it into position on both sides. Pull it down into place. So now at this point, you can test how this spins on the rollers, which it spins very nicely now. Add the 4 screws back onto this panel. Next, get this top panel back in. Latches in on both sides and slides down. Then you have 2 screws for the front and 2 screws down from the top. Plug the electrical connection for the door light back in, and the connection for the moisture sensor. Get this piece back on. It uses these 2 small screws. And you can put the lint trap back in. Next, you have your door lock sensor. Gonna put it through 2 clips And back out to that front location. If you had this door lock sensor connected, you'll need to disconnect that and plug this back into the door panel. So you open the door, get that door lock sensor back in place. Gonna latch your door panel onto the bottom next in those two locations. Then you can tilt it forward. Then you need to reconnect the door lock sensor connector. And then you can push this into position underneath this clip. Push down on the white metal to clear that little clip there. Get that in place. Now your 4 screws to put in the top, 2 smaller screws down at the bottom. Your control panel is going to sit in the bottom front, snap in at the top. 2 screws back in. Plug in the 5 electrical connectors. At this point, you just need to put the top panel back on. Before I do that, I'll reapply power, make sure it runs. You can see the light came on. Just set it to air dry. I'll get this top panel back on. Sits in place, then slides forward. And then 3 screws in the back. So now we're completely done. Saw that it works. And this is actually the smoothest this has ever been. Probably better than when I came from the factory. If you have any questions, get those in the comments. Hope you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching.